There we go. Ads are done. Hello, hello. Welcome in. I am just adjusting some stuff on my screen while you enjoy the kitty cat there. And let's pull the game up. Maybe. Let's pull the game up. There we go. There we go. Hi. So this is just going to be a short little stream tonight. I'm trying to kind of taper off streaming on Thursdays because I usually go back to work on Friday, and I do go back to work tomorrow. But this game did just launch today, and I wanted to at least do a quick little first look. This is on the ones that I backed. The ones I backed are coming out all of a sudden. We have Firmament come out, and now we have Mask of the Rose by the two game companies that I will always back. Cyan, I will back everything they do, and Failbetter Games. I will back pretty much everything they do until they give me a reason not to, which I don't expect them to. So we're gonna do a quick little first look at least. I am technically still till the end of the week raising money for the fundraiser for my shelter. I've still got some of the flare up. If anybody cares to donate, you're welcome to do so. Hey Sapphire, hello. But let's start looking at this, because I have barely even been able to like get a chance to look at it yet. And go back, and I'm actually gonna take myself off the screen here because I just kind of want to enjoy the atmosphere. Fallen London down here, if you've never played, I was playing that back in the day. I was playing that back in the day when it was still Echo Bazaar. It started off like a, well, I guess it is still a browser-based game, but it started off as one of those games. I don't know how many of y'all remember when everybody was playing the Facebook games, but this was like around about that same time period, except this one immediately grabbed me. It is so clever. It is text-based. It is dark. It is just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful writing. And one of the things I remember most is that they were one of the earliest ones to not allow you, because so a lot of the games, if you reposted stuff from the game, you'd get like additional in-game time or in-game whatever. Failbetter stopped doing that because they didn't like the way that social media browser games were spamming with that sort of thing. But Fallen London / Echo Bazaar was the one that I actually really liked reposting from because it was always creepy little like poetry snippets and like actual interesting stuff. It had all of the Starveling cat rhymes, which is only amusing if you know anything about Fallen London or Echo Bazaar. Oh, you played Farmville for a little bit? Yeah, Fallen London is not a Farmville game. Fallen London is heavily, heavily text-based and just set in a really, really interesting world. But yeah, it's still running. I fell off it for a while, partly because I don't play a lot of browser-based anymore. I have so many other games to play, but also because they had one specific mission that was beautiful and really well written. But in taking that mission, you made a choice to sacrifice some of your levels in your watchful attributes. Which is one of your attributes in the game, is your watchfulness. And everybody who played this mission, we knew that we were going to risk that, and we knew that we were going to risk watchful levels, but I kept going on that mission chain longer than I probably should have, and I lost a lot of my watchful. I did it to myself. But it's such a cool game. I should just play some Fallen London on stream at some point, but that's not the game we have right now. So your first foray into Mask of the Rose is unlikely to end as happily as you might hope. Never mind. Savor your successes, delight in your disasters, try again. Wiser in the ways of the neath. The city is thick with secrets, but they can't hide from you. In February 1862, with no warning at all, London fell through the surface of the earth. And this is supposed to take place early after the fall, where Echo Bazaar takes place later. This was meant to be a year of progress in industry, the Great Exposition, trams, a new sewer system. Instead, we find ourselves dwelling in a cave. It's October now. The fires have been put out, the bodies have been buried. But the future remains unimaginable, the time before impossibly distant. All right, we could be a dock builder. Okay, that would be allied with the working class and the criminals. Some of this is going to sound really familiar to me just from playing Echo Bazaar Fallen London. The gentry. So that's more high society. I had the bad fortune to be in London during the fall, and now there's no going back, but I have connections. We have a tailor. I always wanted to ally with the artists in Echo Bazaar. Oh, you must complete the game in order to unlock this background for future playthroughs. To be a housebreaker's child or an undertaker. Or an arcane academic. I'm probably going to go with dock worker. Let's go with dock worker. Down here, your name is whatever you say it is. Often there's no one left to remember who you used to be. Some people hold tight to the names they carried before. Some reinvent themselves completely. All right, and here we can choose how we're addressed. We've got Madam, Sir, My Lord, My Lady, Citizen, Comrade, Captain, Lieutenant, Doctor, Professor, Officer, Secretary, Brother, Sister, Reverend, Intendant, Monsieur. Okay, back to the beginning. I was always My Lady in Echo Bazaar. And I'm not Griffin Echo Bazaar. I'm Lady Dark Griffin. Dark Griffin to my friends, My Lady to strangers. That's how I was addressed even before London fell. I'm a different person down here than I was above. Down here, I'm finally able to use the name that always fit me. Oh, I like that. I'll go with I'm a different person. And oh, that's pretty. That's also closest to the one that I use in Echo Bazaar. It's nice too, though. In the Neath, a true ally means everything. When I find people to be close to, I am open to. And this is one of the neat things that they did in this game, because it is a murder mystery / romance game, but you can choose these options at the beginning. You can choose friendship but no romantic emotions or physical intimacy, friendship and physical intimacy but no romantic emotions, friendship and romantic emotions but no physical intimacy, or whatever comes my way. And I love that they have these options, because no matter kind of where your comfort level is in playing the game, you can still play the game, and you don't have to be in situations that for whatever reason you don't really want to be in. And I love that. I'm actually really curious how the friendship only ones go, because that's something you don't get to see a lot in these games. So I'm actually going to go with friendship on this round. I'll be looking to find people to trust and befriend. Maybe I'll even find some chosen family or do some matchmaking. Oh, heart, they're doing it as heart's desire. Okay. I'll go with that. Right now, I'm meant to be helping with the census, finding out who still lives in my neighborhood. The first census results are due tomorrow. If I turn them in, I get paid. The first money to come my way in nearly 2 months. If I don't, I'm going to disappoint Grizz badly. She knew I was in trouble, so she went out of her way to find me work with her own employers. She even gave me a badge to show my affiliation. Oh, I got badge of the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. The front of the badge looks almost like a constable's badge with the lion and unicorn emblazoned on it. The back of the badge has some kind of symbol I don't recognize. Hot to the touch. I keep it with the clothes I have from before the fall and a few odd items I found more recently. Ooh, outfit time. Barefaced. Okay, so we can choose either our badge or a corsage. I like the corsage. And a basic sailor's top. In theory, I eventually have access to a hat that I got as part of the Kickstarter. That is one of the, so they have sentient, sapient hats in this game. Open options for genders. I suspect that's where it comes in, where you're saying how you prefer to be addressed, either Lord, Lady, or one of those titles that's neutral. I know that in the actual Fallen London Echo Bazaar game, it's open gender. You can choose. I honestly forget what all of the options are now, but it's very like open gender in Echo Bazaar Fallen London, the original game. So I'm guessing that's where it comes in, where you're asking how you want to be addressed. Grizz says, I thought you were up here. Are you planning to do any... Oh, more so for the romances. Oh, I guess that's the one thing, since I chose friendship. I don't know if they give you the same options. I am terrible with Kickstarter games that I follow them really closely at the beginning and then I lose track of them. Failbetter is historically really good at a lot of things along that line, though, so... are you planning to do any census taking? I react the way I react to many things these days. I turn it into a joke, I dare to name the frightening things out there, or I lie. We're gonna name the frightening things out there. I'm not sure what I'll meet out there. Not everything outside is human. Accurate? Oh no, they're not just rumors, Grizz. Rumors don't let a few odd things in the broadsheets frighten you. Come tomorrow evening, we need to have at least a few census forms filled out. Or I'm going to be the one explaining to Mr. Pages. Oh, Mr. Pages. That's, you don't want to upset Mr. Pages. And if that happens, I'm not going to help you with your employment prospects again. Fair. Grizz works for the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. It seems to agree with her. She wears trousers to work and comes home at all hours. It's very important to her being taken seriously by these employers. The next thing I do is characteristic 2. Offer encouragement, however bleak the situation, confront her with her own mistakes, be open and build trust, or rely on dark humor. I'm going to offer encouragement. You're so good at your work that I think your employers must see it, though they are unusual. Grizz's employers are unusual. She says she's never seen their faces. But if you ever do need to evade them, we could conceal you in the basement. Mr. Page is angry? It doesn't bear thinking about. What do you think of the questions? They're written in the most peculiar spiked handwriting, and there are punctures in the paper in random spots. Ask her what put the holes in the paper, distract her with flattery, or stare magnificently at her. I want to know what put the holes in the paper. Why does this page look like this? Do your employers know how to use a pen? I have not seen them writing. I have only seen the ink on their sleeves afterwards. And do they have claws? Whatever their methods, they're trying to restore London, to feed everyone and create some kind of order. Here, try the questions on me. Say you've just knocked on the door and I have come to answer it. Yes, what do you want? Should I put on the badge? I feel like we should put on the badge. Yeah, Grizz clearly wants to treat this as a realistic practice for future work. The badge identifies me as a census taker and official representative of the ministry. Supposedly, it makes people more likely to answer my questions. I guess I should introduce myself. I feel like a cop all of a sudden. I don't know about this. Good evening. On behalf of the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting, I have a few questions. Grizz says, oh, how lovely. I am so grateful these ministries are looking after us. I'm not going to challenge her. She's trying to help me out. I'm going to go with it. Not too hard, this. Go on, then. What's the first question? Okay. How many people live in this establishmentation? Is that a word? Establishmentation? My superiors are enthusiastic embellishers of the language. Cute. If you like, you can translate into questions that are more likely to be understood. Right. How many people live in this establishment? 4. The landlady, Miss Horatius Chapman, a young man named Archibald Reed, myself, and a 4th character, very disreputable. Point out that there used to be more lodgers, or laugh as she clearly intends. We're gonna go with it. Or at least smirk. I'm sure our neighbors' households are very well regulated. Sometimes I'm in the mood to keep chatting, and sometimes I want to get to the point. I say keep going. I read the remaining questions over quickly, enough to prove to Grizz I know what I'm about. I think I've convinced her I won't do too badly. At this moment, a second visitor walks in. Archie is a medical student. He hasn't finished his training before the fall, but he has plenty of work now. Oh, Sapphire Cat. Also, one of the things I noticed when I was looking at the preview of the game is I think there's options within dialogue even. If a character starts going off on one track, either the romance or the attractive part, that you can actually like dial them back. Because they've got a screenshot of dialogue options that are basically saying like continue on in the same vein they're speaking to you, or pull them back, or stop discussing this topic entirely. So it seems like they also allow you to back out even like once you start getting into a conversation. Right after the fall, it was broken bones and cuts. Lately, there are fewer wounds and more disease. Archie says, I wondered where you were. Not that he could knock before entering my room, welcome him warmly, or guess at why Archie is here. I'm gonna guess why he's here. Archie, is something wrong downstairs? Has there been a new disaster? Not the kind you're thinking of. Out I went this... I cannot do his accent. I'm not even gonna try. I went this morning to visit a patient, and what do I find pasted up on the wall? He holds a broadsheet. There's a new decree from the Ministry of Cartography and Chirography that all maps and atlases are to be surrendered or put in the fire. It's your folk making these rules, Grizz. Assure him that she can explain, suggest he leave the topic alone, or stay out of this. I want to know more. I don't even want to stay out of it. Let's see what Grizz can say in explanation. No need to be upset just yet. I'm sure Grizz will explain. Thank you, I think. This must be a difficult position for her, but she'll doubtless face more like it if she goes on serving the ministry. Will you be asking your Mr. Pages about these maps? Grizz hesitates. The relief to speak frankly, the Ministry of Chirography and Cartography is new. I don't think that existed yesterday. That is a bit unnerving. It does give the sense that everything's a bit precarious. If you did not have that sense already, what with the stalactite that fell on Southwark yesterday... Oh, I read too slow. I'll see what I can find out about this, but it might take some time. Dark Griffin, please do collect at least a few census forms by tomorrow. Deliver a filled census form to Pages. We'll take them to Mr. Pages together. Grizz had a fierce look. I don't think she gives much quarter. We're trying to be friends. I think she'd be a valuable friend. Perhaps she is already. I had an aunt like that. And hard work with it. How are you feeling, Archie? How's your day? How are you holding up? Worse than Grizz, there's no road out of here. Food from the masters is a wee reprieve, but when you think of all else that might kill us below, scurvy and the like. Yep, Great Hulk and Rock fell down, killed the whole household. Oh, you're out of laudanum. Grizz has me gathering census pages. We can ask about his romantic commitments. Maintain the tone of warmth or show some doubt. I guess be nice. Are you in love with anyone or promised to anyone? We're just going to be very abrupt. There was a last back home, and what did my mother do? But oh, you were promised to someone. Sure, sounds great. Oh my god, there must be a great deal of trust and affection in your family. Sure, that's one way to phrase it. Haven't much thought of her since. She has very even teeth. My mother said overlapping teeth in a woman mean defiance and gaps mean a light skirt. All right. Sure. We're gonna pretend you didn't say that. All right. Don't look so stiff. That's enough from Archie, I think. Till I see you at supper then. Any wagers on what she's cooking tonight? Better not ask. I want to get into the murder mystery stuff. We have a journal that we're keeping track of things. We need to do census page forms. Ooh, 259 days since the fall. Time of day, evening. Okay. So my views on life underneath are still forming. 50th consecutive day not leaving the attic. Oh, so we have known Archie since before the fall. Romantic interest. His mom has a nice girl for him back home. Okay, so we could have found out more about his work to fill out more of his stuff in here. Okay. I've made no progress. We've got... Oh, that one's a constable. And we still owe her back rent. All right. Continuing onward. Oh, 6 days remain in the season of confessions. The newspapers aren't what they used to be. I might slow down the text if I'm going to be reading out loud. Rumors of octopod heir to the because I read pretty fast, but I can only read out loud so fast. Settings, text. Oh, really? Oh, wait, is that just going back to what we already saw? No. We are reliving London's last night on the surface. The dimming of the sun at 3 in the afternoon, the sky turning the color of rust. The horrible bang and the cloud of dust from the direction of Westminster, the tolling of the bells, the horsemen who rode down the street liveried in the garb of the palace, shouting, "In Her Majesty's name, go indoors." And then the sky was full of bats. More bats than I thought could exist in the world, wheeling, shrieking, defecating. People went indoors then if they'd ignore the criers, those that had no house crowded into the churches and under the bridges. Even now, I don't understand. Ooh. I want to say I don't understand how Her Majesty knew to send criers. The palace has been shuttered since that day the royal family do not emerge. Surely if they had known this was coming, they would have departed London. It was only the city that fell. The rest of England, we assume, remains above. That's right, because it's the shuttered palace in Echo Bazaar. I reckon it's a tornado. I've heard of something similar in the Welsh hills. A light in the sky and a noise like a thunderclap. Oh, there's Horatia. There's no tornado, love. It's the plague of Egypt. I intervened before they annoyed each other. I'm going to intervene before they annoy each other. The newspapers will tell us in the morning what it was. Leastwise, it'll make a good story for the letters home. Glasgow will be envious of our London fashions. Then the ground shook again. Oh my god, this is the actual fall. I believe we can blame excavations digging about under London. What did you find there about a cave of 3 million bats? There are stranger things. There are much stranger things beneath London. The sky darkened and it didn't return to normal. Once around midnight, Grizz went upstairs and opened the door to the street, but she came right back down again. She said the cobbles were galloping about. It wasn't safe to walk. After that first bit, the memories collide and get confused. I have trouble keeping track of which came first and which came later. Whether I'm imagining something, I've spent a lot of days like this, thinking back, trying to piece together the puzzle, as if I could realize something that would make sense of it all. That's really interesting. I guess we need to go try to take census. Oh my goodness. So boarding house, Thrall Street, our journal. Just outside my front door. Surely these are the same streets that were always there. Oh, that's my option, to take the census. It's worth it to be mindful of how others will perceive me, what role I play. Be careful about what I'm wearing. Names, identities, and relationships have all become so unsteady. Chit admires duty, but does not always care for the ministry. It's hard to say what impression the badge makes on him. I guess if he doesn't like the ministry, then I'll put my roses back on. Sure. Sure. The streets out. Thanks to my family history, I know where to find the immigrant neighborhoods of London. An old synagogue and one that has weathered the fall very well. Whenever I need to find more of them, it's Harjit who helps me. I have something for you if you want it. He produces a nearly new admiral's hat in perfectly good condition. I found it near the docks, no sign of the owner, and I can't wear it myself. I thought someone at Miss Chapman's might get use out of it. Perhaps Lady Griselda. Oh. Wearing it gives me a commanding, if slightly curmudgeonly presence. Clothes make an impression on other people when I wear them. They make an impression on me, too. Sometimes I'm inspired to say things I wouldn't otherwise. I have a feeling this particular hat would make me a bit gruff and commanding. Oh, so I can either lose the flower or put the hat on my head and consider what to say. Well, I don't want to be gruff and commanding. I guess I'll just lose the flower. Oh. So the flower... Oh, I don't have another option. I have to put the hat on my head. Oh, but I still have an option. Okay, muttering graciously, influenced by the hat. Take the hat off again. Or try on the lapel flower. Oh, so the clothing you wear affects what dialogue options you have, is how I'm reading that. You don't have to go with the options they're giving you, but it gives you the option. Oh, I like that. I'm just gonna thank him, but... Interesting. He could have got a penny or two for selling it onto a secondhand clothing. Does not have an answer. Establish my authority. Simply state that I have questions. Explain that I'm working for the Ministry on the Census. I don't have my badge with me, but I'm collecting census information for the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. I see. London was determined to collect everyone's name even before the fall. Agreed's peculiarity of the English. Say the information is needed for planning. Ask whether his answers have changed. I guess it's needed for planning. The idea is to find out how many mouths need feeding. A list like that is never put to only one use, but never mind, you do not have to explain yourself to me, not while I'm wearing this uniform at any rate. What do you wish to know? I guess just ask about the household. Do you live alone? I live alone for the moment. I recognize an evasion. He won't say more than he thinks I have reason to know. Yeah, that's plenty of information for the census. Are you married or otherwise connected? I've met matchmakers before, but not in London. Are all practitioners here equally unsubtle? I think we should just leave it as it stands. I don't feel like I need to... He said he was going to answer our questions. But I'm not going to promise to repay him. I hold the silence. Sometimes that does more than any request. Learn not to be hasty with my trust. I'm deliberately evasive. Oh. How is the neighborhood doing, buddy? All well on the streets? Every day I can walk a little further without getting lost, but sometimes I lose a place again. Do you recall the second-hand clothes man who used to be around the corner? Sure. At first I thought the shop was destroyed, but it's moved 2 streets away now. The whole building. I mean, I believe that. Again, having played Echo Bazaar, Fallen London, I have no problem believing that a street simply moved 2 streets away. Or a shop moved 2 streets away. I'm gonna ask how that's possible, though. How could that be? The stars don't stay put in the sky. Perhaps the streets are also free to roam. I should be on my way. Give my regards to Miss Chapman, friend. There's probably more to know about him. We barely know him. He has his own purpose. Perhaps it's worth discovering how he spends his time. Oh, we have a new goal to find out where he's going. I can just manage one more errand today before supper. So we're probably going to have an option between... So I am still wearing the hat right now. Okay. So I can go back there, look for census filers. We can trail him, or we can ask him to show us a route. See whether Horatia needs anything. Oh. I want to do more census taking. I want to meet my friends, my roommates. Oh, she doesn't attend much to what I wear. An indifference no doubt born of seeing us in all states. Sure. We'll keep the hat on. She's taking inventory of our supplies. The night London fell, all Horatia's lodgers gathered in the cellar. Horatia led the hymns while we waited for dawn. Around 3 in the afternoon, we admitted to ourselves that there wasn't going to be a dawn today or any other day. It's good to see you. Since the fall, we have all taken to greeting one another as invalids on the verge of death. Bring up my recent memory, pay her a compliment, or come straight to the point. I would probably spit out whatever was on my fool mind. I was remembering all of us together the night of the fall, telling each other it was some sort of engineering accident. Besim's neighborhood vanished overnight. They'd been talking of making a run for it. Not enough to eat around here, it seems. I need a different hat, because I'm not very authoritarian. Don't have my badge with me? That's alright, because I didn't put the badge back on. Oh. Ask whether she had many suitors when she was younger. Why aren't we asking if she has any now? It's a census. The butcher at the corner asked me a few times to be his wife. Couldn't say I was tempted. He had 7 children from his marriage before. I believe he was more attracted to the extra rooms in my house. There's something I need for dinner. Okay. Sure. She rummages in a corner and returns with an assemblage of empty jars. Take them to the market and get them filled, as many as you can. Oil and solids, whatever they've got. Don't let them sell you more than 1 jar of cricket flour. We can use it, but we don't go through much. As for the purple mushrooms, make sure they're dead. Don't accept the live ones. How will I know? If it jumps out of the jar, it's not dead. Of course. None of that's any good if you can't find your way there. I always go to the corner with the red handle pump and count to 20 and turn left and go straight ahead without looking back. You wind up somewhere else entirely if you look back. Likely just a corruption of Hog's Lane, but I'd keep my pet pig on a leash all the same. I love that. You wind up somewhere else entirely if you look back. Trip takes a long time. Half the stalls are already empty. Half the remaining stalls are not offering anything we'd want. But we got it done, and we know our way to the market now. We're going to go back to Horatia's. Yeah, I'm going to change clothes before dinner. I don't need to be wearing that hat at dinner. I don't have anything for that yet, and all I have are those for options. Oh, excuse me. Sure. Well, I probably should have put something on. Oh well. Grizz is waiting for me. Whatever census forms you have ready, it's time to take them to Mr. Page's. I should really put my badge back on before I report in. Can we have supper first? Now I'm famished. Mr. Pages has been expecting these all day. He's eager to see what you've made of the collection. Once I've shown you how to reach the ministry, you can come back on your own and turn in others. All right, I guess I don't have the option. With luck, Mr. Pages will decide to keep you on. With even more luck, he won't mind being asked about the Ministry of Chirography and Cartography. I fear this may be my fault. I explained the idea of ministries to Mr. Pages and his colleagues. It was you. With that, she leads me outside and down a street side that is no longer named. Can we blame all the masters on you, Grizz? Is it all your fault? More often than not, it's hidden by intervening roof, alternating starboard and port. Ugh. Every time I look up, it stands closer. Oh, man. Horace is a low door that once, I think, belonged to a solicitor's office. Of course. Grizz takes out a key made of something other than metal and unlocks that door. Mind the pile of papers. I've already sorted them 3 times. Mr. Pages is very particular about the ordering of documents. Now, where has he gone? Usually he's here. Hey, Mr. Pages, you don't terrify me at all. We were just coming to bring you the census documents, a first installment of many, I'm sure. There's a tone in a voice somewhere between fondness and a nanny guiding an untutored child. Ignore the mood between them or don't. I'm not going to ignore the mood. I watch her curiously. She doesn't meet my eye. Does she have feelings towards it? Affection? Regard for a very strange and demanding pet? Or is it something more heartfelt? Mr. Pages, may I present Dark Griffin? This is Mr. Pages. The whole Ministry of Accounting and Recounting is under Mr. Pages' direction. Stand well back and make no sudden moves. If that's one of the Masters of the Bazaar, that might not be the worst option, I'm not gonna lie. I will acknowledge the introduction. In good health, then, are you? We're not going to pronounce that. Mr. Pages has a surprisingly high voice. Mr. Pages has been interviewing a Frenchman and happily stranded on our shores before the fall. You can imagine how that might affect both mind and vocabulary. I wonder whether it was challenging for the Frenchman. I'll request translation. Say what? Griselda, transport our meeting for the benefit of a... Yeah. Whenever you deem it to be confused. You'll get used to Mr. Page's way of expression in time. What have you brought us? Look at all that work we did. I'm not going to hand it over at once. I want to know what he has to say about it. It gives me a shiny penny for my trouble. It's newly minted and has a portrait on the back of someone who is certainly not the queen. And the face on the back of the coin stares at me until the hair prickles on my neck. Reminds me of a debt owed, and I don't want to remember. My breath hitches and... Ew. The Masters of the Bazaar are not entirely human. Oh, provide pages with 7 census forms. This one is of interest. I don't have a filing index for that combination. I will designate a sigil in a suitable ink. Colors on the last sigil burned my eyes. What else is there? I suddenly don't want to be informing you about my friends. At all. Other coins and things that aren't coins. Buttons, pearls, probably false. A horse head. I'm gonna be doing that a lot. There's just like little tidbits in here that I'm gonna go, oh, that's cool. Just, again, because Echo Bazaar, Fall in London. He's a lightless character. Do you have anything more? Spend some time scanning it. Something it's looking for, something it keeps looking for that I cannot find. The Masters of the Bazaar are historically it. The business of the census is done for now. Perhaps I've earned a question. Ask... Oh, we could ask what the romance accounts are about. I want to ask why the maps need to be outlawed. Why aren't we allowed to have maps and atlases anymore? We need them more than ever. London isn't arranged where it used to be. I believe the ministry intends to resurvey the territory. In the meantime, it would do, you know, to have people using Felicia's map. Territory of the Neath. Towards lying. Rephrase, please. I suppose it must be a reference to the... No, I don't think that was about the seismic activity, honey. Perhaps there's a concern that future events will... When I think about it, the existence of inaccurate maps might cause alarm. Perhaps better not to create an expectation of consistent layout. Oh, I don't think that's what he was talking about, hon. She makes a couple of remarks about how useful this will be. New goal, pay her half my background. What do I think of Mr. I'm terrified of Mr. Pages because I'm terrified of all the masters. Promise to keep up with the job at least till something better comes along. Thank her for arranging the post. I'm glad the ministry has someone like her to advise. I will thank her. Grateful for the arrangement. It was very good of you to put this together. Oh, there's a moment's fellow feeling. We're thinking alike. And she reminds me we have many more people in the neighborhood to survey for the census. You know how it's done now, so you can collect them and take them to Mr. Pages yourself. I have other duties and I may not always be there, but Pages is... Well, I'm certain you won't be harmed if you visit the ministry on your own. Silently conclude she has an interest in Mr. Pages. Draw a gloomy conclusion. I'm going to ask whether she has feelings for Pages. I got the impression that you have an affection for Mr. Pages. Mr. Pages is a puzzle. Sometimes he can be protective. Other times I think he would let me walk into the sea if I chose. Not because he dislikes me, but because he has no fear for me. He trusts me to judge for myself. Well, also he's a master and they're terrible. But I'm not sure I'd call it love. I'm gonna stay out of that. Cannot stop thinking on the Ministry of Cartography. There's something not right there. Yeah. If you'd let me show you what I'm thinking of. Sure. You'll see what I have in mind in a moment. It's a way of sorting out my thoughts. To think through a treatment, but it's good for all sorts. Are you gonna, like, teach me how to do a mind map? He's getting out some bits of paper written over in his own handwriting. Oh, learn about creating a story. Oh! From time to time, you'll be making stories about things you discover in the Neath. Sometimes other people will ask... Okay. Sometimes other people will ask you to bring them a story. They might want a true account, or they might want fiction. Either way, you'll come here to create the story they want. I like that. Slots contain the elements of your story. This is a who slot, meaning it can contain a character featured in the story. These are the character tokens you can put in the slot. As you meet more characters in the game, you'll gain more options. Select one of the tokens to fill the slot and continue. This is a story about Mr. Pages. This is such a cute little mechanic, and this feels like such a Failbetter Games thing to do. This feels like such a Failbetter Games thing to do. To be telling stories in their story. Tokens for action motives are represented by fragments of text rather than pictures. Assign a token to the motive and action slots before you continue. The masters always have unknown purposes. Oh, awesome, thank you. This is a story about Mr. Pages, a master of the bazaar driven by secret unknown motives. Carried on a discreet and private affair with a lover. Ah, I got called Delicious Friend. I feel good now. Not every story is a single-hander, of course. Commonly, a second character will feature as a friend, an enemy, or a victim. Oh, goodness. Well, this is going to be a story now. Second person needs to be different than the first. It'll vacate the first character slot. You may continue when both slots are filled. Well, we're just turning into a rumor mill now. Sometimes two tokens can't be placed together because they don't make sense together. More often you can mix and match. Sometimes you'll be asked for a story where certain elements can't be changed, and those slots will be locked. You can change everything else about the story, but not that piece. Finally, sometimes you can put an unknown. That means there's another possible answer, but you need to explore the world more to find out what it is. Building a story with unknown elements gives you a hypothesis you can ask other characters about. Oh, that's clever. I like that. Oh, thank you. Fill the final slot to continue. Figured the other. I'm gonna say unknown actions. Interesting. So I formed a theory to ask people about. That is a really neat mechanic. I do see how you're coming at it, Archie. It's no use asking Grizz. Develop his theory. So, Mr. Pages knew the Neath had changed and forbade mapping. So the Londoner credulous believed its propaganda even when warned against using quite common street names. Interesting. I never questioned it. The maps would become obsolete and the citizens grew frightened. It was better to allow people to think their own memories were at fault. Okay, we'll go with that. We have an ad warning in a couple minutes here. You'd rather know the truth of it and make up his own mind what to do next? Well, yeah, and they need to learn the signs of the Neath if they want to do any doctoring. Oh, is he going to give me another job option? I have a friend that can take... Oh, we can go to the newspapers. We can be a spy. We can investigate with anyone who might answer. Ooh. Let's give myself time to think about this. I nod, but I don't make promises. Sure. We'll befriend Archie. I am curious now how the romance and attraction options would run if we were running on those right now. But I wanted to test out the platonic friendship one first. All right, and now we get to review what we've done. We brought Archie theories about the ministry. We need to save up to 5 pennies. We also need to go to the market tomorrow and pick up my crow hat. All right. Circumstance, the bazaar. Motive, hoarded, written word. Yep. All right, I'm not going to continue on this page because I've got an ad starting soon. We'll run a little bit longer. I know Nash is going to go live in a little bit. I will pop the break screen up, though, for when the ads come up. All right, ads should be over. I want to see if I can pull up... excuse me while I adjust this. I want... Fallen London. There we go. So yes. So this is Fallen London. So this isn't the game we're playing right now. This this is the older game that first got me into Failbetter Games and all of the lore surrounding Fallen London and Echo Bazaar. It is one of those browser games that you get a certain number of actions you can take every however much time, and they refill over time, or you can buy more time. What I love... Let's see, what do I have listed under myself? I'm living in Z Shell right now. I've got an acquaintance with the Heptagoat, which was a big deal at one point. But I love how it keeps track of some of the stuff you've done. I'm acquainted with the Rye functionary. I'm acquainted with the captivating princess. Yeah, this is where I chose in this game. I'm addressed as Madame. I'm investigating the 12 days of Mr. Sachs. I've got a bunch of different connections. I have a bunch of different recurring dreams that can also unlock some stories. The Burial of the Dead, the Fire Sermon. Some of this, I don't know if any of this is spoilers or not, if you play the game. I've got some major laterals going on. My nightmares is only at 1 since last time I played. But it just kind of goes on and on with like all of these little things about your character that you build up over time and over the different stories that you go through. A name in 7 secret alphabets. You know, a name scrawled in blood, a name whispered in darkness. What's the one I'm looking for? I'm an annoyance to Jack of Smiles. I'm an intimate of devils. I did attending the needs of a singular plant. I've incited a simian revenge. I've inconvenienced my aunt. None of these are the ones I'm looking for. I am marked by the Eater of Chains. That's not what I'm looking for. I might have skimmed past it. Anyway, I love that just reading through some of these. Oh, they're seeking the name. Seeking the name. Seeking Mr. Eaton's name. The game itself warns you before you try to take on that one. But that's definitely a thing. But yes, I spent a lot of time in Fallen London. A lot of time. Good time. Another morning, another newspaper. The headlines today read, Masters announce increased biscuit rations for hungry Londoners. What I want to do is I want to go to the market and see if I can get my hat. I know I'm supposed to be, like, filling out census stuff, but I want to know about this hat. I guess I'll put the other hat on first. We'll just put on a little bit of everything. Oh yeah, I didn't look over what I'm wearing in Fallen London right now. What you wear also affects things in Fallen London in a different way. I'm satisfied with this. Oh, I didn't go over my pets either. Call me Ivy. Sure, I'll compliment you. I want my hat. You look dazzling today. Aw, you're not so bad. You missed a spot of color this morning. A man came in with a basket of so-called fish. Mobbed he was, sold for 10 guineas each. But they wasn't fish. Cold and wet and slippery maybe, but not fish. I don't know what they were. I just know what they weren't. What are your goods for sale? Gentleman's top hat, ladies. Oh. I forgot to actually look at how I get my Kickstarter hat, so it might not actually be like here. But I want to look at... Do I have like a list of pets in London? Probably in my inventory. Yes, in my inventory. As I just swap back and forth between games. Companions. Okay, because pets are the most important part of any game. I have a de-shrieked mandrake. I have a fairly tame sorrow spider. I have a working rat that I named Justin. I have a disgraced rat bandit chief. I have a rubbery associate. I have a tiny cavefish. I have a lucky weasel that I named Mara. I have a reprehensible lizard. I have a sulky bat. I have a card-sharp monkey. I have a cheerful goldfish. I have a fighting weasel that I named Ricky Tikki Tavi. I have a hungover terrier that I named Kojak. Scuttering squad, dark carapace crustacean, a dreamy raven advisor. I can't believe I didn't name that one yet. A wary raven advisor, and then the panther. And then, yes, also in this game, like, lots and lots of clothes. I have less clothing here than I thought I did. I wonder if I sold some of it at one point. I must have sold some of it at some point. Because I swear I used to have more clothing. Alright. Game at hand. Game at hand. Oh, I didn't know that. I named the weasel Mara because when I was a little girl, there was a book I read called Mara the Alaskan Weasel. And it's just one of those, like, books from childhood that the title always stuck in my head. So that's where that one came from. Collection contains many things of this sort. Oh. Okay. Interesting. I didn't see the hat that I was looking for, but that's fine. And you are limited in how many errands you can run. Okay. Oh. The ministry offices are tucked up snugly under that. Okay, so that's where I go to turn stuff in. That's the boarding house, and that is Thrall Street. Okay. I'm seeing what my options are. The more you know. Yep. Random trivia. Is this the one where we can follow... Oh, we don't have the option to follow him anymore, maybe? Because he's already maybe moved on somewhere else? No, but we can ask him to show me a route somewhere else. Give me more options. Give me more places to explore. I will look like an idiot, but I'm still satisfied with it. Oh, wonderful. I'm gonna compliment you, dude. Oh, you look dazzling. Oh, the air is warmer for just a moment, briefly comforting. There's nothing amiss, is there? Nothing's happened, Archibald. Oh, Archie. Heh. Oh, okay. So they don't know for sure that only London fell. Household is doing as well as it can, or ask neutrally whether he has feelings for Archie. Ask what he's talking about. Why should anything have happened to Archie? Oh. Invent a fabulous tale of my reliability in all matters. Demand he tell me. Leave it as it stands. Demanding my trust will not create it. Huh. So many families passed in the fall, so many others vanished afterwards. Perhaps they have all packed their things and gone to some other part of the city. Perhaps something more terrible has happened. Give me some new destinations. Proto-Martyr Church. Oh, St. Albans. Okay. Or the Menace Eradicator Shop. Do you know how to get to St. Albans? It's the Parish Church, not too far from here. But since the fall, it's been easy to get turned around. Okay, so we can unlock more. We walk together. Or the air smells different. Or the sound of church bells. Vicar, it's the church of our parish. Oh, we got new motives. Pined for surface and missed family. Oh, I was just preparing my sermon. I'm here in need of... I don't think I'm here in need of guidance. Angle to impress a gentleman with lies. Be friendly. Just being friendly to everyone. As much as that's possible for now. It's a Yorkshire name. Oh, I guess we're gonna take his census. And I'm not wearing my badge again. Because of course I'm not wearing my badge again. I don't have my badge again, but I'm collecting census information. I keep leaving my badge at home. I can't imagine why. Ask what he's on about. Laugh as much at as with. Hey. Do not presume to comment. I don't want to laugh at him yet. I'm wondering about the purpose of the census and whose aims it is meant to serve. That's coming from the lapel pin. Hey, party dress. I'll ask using the exact wording of the original census. How many people live in your... That's what it meant by the exact wording. I live alone in the rooms provided for the vicar of this parish. There's a woman who comes in twice a week to clean, or there was. Her visits have been more erratic as of late. She stole several spoons and a chafing dish from me. When I did not turn her off for dishonesty, she lost all respect for me. In retrospect, it was an error. I thought to show mercy. Now I sleep on damp sheets. That's just sad. Our outdoor kitties are doing well. I don't have the cat cam working right now. It kicks me out every once in a while. And I haven't been able to get back in again. We can ask... the census question is the romantic connections. We can ask about them. We can ask a critical question in a reassuring way or maintain the tone of warmth. I guess just ask. Oh, it's the crux of the entire census. Are you married? I was married. The lady was 2 or 3 years older than myself, a very sensible and capable woman. Her name was Anne. No, I want to know what happened. What happened? She's no longer with you. Oh, she died giving birth to our first child. The baby did not survive her by more than a few days. I'd hoped to be reunited with them in the hereafter, but we see what the hereafter has proven to be, at least in my case. Oh, poor guy. Okay, I'm not going to wipe tears from my own eyes. I can sympathize. It's kind of a lame sympathetic response, but... I came to London afterward at the invitation of a friend, a fellow who went into orders around the same time. Oh, you chose a bad time to come to London, dude. You chose a very bad time to come to London. What was that? Something has landed on the roof. It sees us. That's comforting. Bat. Point out that that's too large to be a bat. Calmly ask whether it visits often. Say nothing but keep my eyes on the ceiling. That seems a little big to be a bat. Larger than an eagle, come to that. Gargoyle? An imp? It's landed there a few times before. Especially when the choir's practicing. I'm not going to suggest that I've shot bigger. Say nothing until it goes away or hold my breath. I'm not going to antagonize it. I'll just say nothing. Let's not encourage it to come inside. That's fine. I kind of want to meet the giant bat, imp, gargoyle, but you know, going up to it and saying hi wasn't an option. I'm going to ask what happened to the roof. I can imagine. I think I'm supposed to be asking these people about their jobs for the census, but that's fine. The fabric sustained damage in the fall. It held up for weeks, but shortly after Pentecost, it all came down. I choose not to consider this as an intervention of the Holy Spirit. Oh, that's nice. Remarked that the church must have been very shoddily built. Good going, no one was hurt. Yeah, that sounds like a good answer. All right, I guess that's all we get from him. I'm just gonna go to table in my hat. Motive: feared predators. Alright, so there's a giant bat. That's fine. Was he gonna eat my food? Butthead. Sure. I'm too hungry to decline my dinner just because I took a soda in someone else's bowl. Look at her brother. They usually go to their own doctor, but he's out of service or ran away or something. Their old synagogue was destroyed in the fall, so they've moved to the Tenterground Synagogue. David has a stomach complaint. Perhaps they have trouble. Oh, it isn't easy these days with what we have. Sister's a beauty. She wouldn't leave the room while I saw to her brother. Oh, do you have a crush on her? I guess ask about David's health. Will the brother live? For a bit I thought it might be serious. What he needs is his stomach settled. You have an option to leave a mess. I don't feel like we should be gossiping about the masters of the bazaar. I feel like that's not a smart thing to do. We're gonna chew diligently. I mean, that would be one of the problems with all of London falling. Review the day. I still need to save up pennies. And I need to provide pages with more census forms. Okay. So I see what this is doing. And it probably is more interesting to me as somebody who did play Fall in London, but I can see how this would be interesting even without that. Newspaper today. Ferret's menace eradication seeks reliable employees unafraid of rats. Okay, and then it comes back to building a story and crafting narratives. Okay. I see what we're doing here. Alright, so I know this was really short for a stream. I really did only want to run like hour and a half though. Partly because I still have things to do. Partly because my sinuses are not happy with me, if you cannot tell from my voice. And partly because I think Dash is still going to run in a little bit here. So I know this was only like a really quick first look, but I'm head off for tonight. I am going to try and come up with a more solid streaming schedule going forward. We are wrapped up with the fundraising after this week, but I do still want to stream. I'm just going to have to take a look. Work has been a lot, as I've mentioned a few times. But thanks for hanging out while I took my first look. And hopefully at some point next week, I will see y'all again. If I can find the right buttons here. Have a good night. Have a good day. Thanks for swinging by.